a fine young man called Hiranand from the Sindh province. He used to study at Calcutta University, and then after he finished his studies, he went away and started a newspaper at his place. And then when he heard that the Paramahamsa, whom he admired, was not well, and he had been brought to Calcutta all the way to Kashipur, where he was kept for recuperation. Then Hiranand came to visit him, and there, as he was ushered into the room, the Paramahamsa, there was Master Mahashay with him, Mahendranath Gupta, the author of the Gospel of Ramakrishna in English, which is called Kathamrita, Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita in Bengali, and various other Vachanamrita and this and that in different languages. It's published everywhere. And he called himself M. He never didn't. This Mahendranath Gupta, the author, he kept his name secret. He didn't announce. He just said M. M means Mahendra or whatever. And Gupta is, as you know, secret. So he didn't want to express his identity. He did not want to reveal it because of modesty and. And so he was there in the room, and Sri Ramakrishna said he liked to hear these people talk, even in English, though he didn't follow, but he would understand what they're saying. It's very awkward, very amazing that he understood what they were saying, the trend of the talk, the way it was. Then he was asked Master to start a conversation with Hiranand. But Master Masha was a very shy person. He wouldn't talk much, and that to a stranger. And he was a little older than these youngsters like Noreen, who was Swami Vivekananda later. So he was a little older, a few years older. So those days, there was a kind of barrier. You wouldn't talk to your juniors all of a sudden. So that kind of thing was there. And Master was a very, introvert kind of person. Whereas Nari and Vivekananda were very dynamic and outspoken, and did not care for any formalities like being courteous just because you can't you won't hide the truth just to be courteous. He would express himself fully, his mind. So when he was called, Sri Ramakrishna told the master, "Go and bring Naren here." So he went and brought Naren, and Naren and Hiranand began to converse. Hiranand, both of them were very, quiet and didn't know what to say. And Naren had just been brought, so he didn't know what it was all about. At last, then Hiranand spoke, shy person. He said, "Why is there sorrow for a bhakta, for a devotee? Why does a follower of God have to face sorrow?" This is a question that people don't understand. The sorrow, and you have to actually, the idea of spiritual sadhana is to get above the sorrow and happiness and things like that. These are material things because they are determined by the mind, the intellect, and the gunas and the senses, because we are under their control as long as we are limited, The human being is limited by his body. Unless he goes beyond, he has to go beyond all this. That is the idea of sadhana. When the extremes, the two opposites don't matter to you, everything is the same. Samadarshi, everything is the same. So, that's why the feeling of sorrow and happiness and things like that. Then he said, why does the devotee face sorrow? Does he suffer? And then Naren, in his own special way, he said, the scheme of the universe is devilish. I would have created a much better place. He said that. And he started moving around. And then he started chanting, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That is Mano Buddhi Hankara Chittani Naham. That actually we are not Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, his stotras are very powerful and very revealing and very, educative, at the same time spiritually elevating. He said that the mind, the intellect, and this and that, all these things, I am not it, I am not that. What I am is Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, I am the pure, infinite, unlimited existence. That is pure consciousness. I am not this and that. So that is to be realized, because sadhana is all for that. We are so possessed, and we are in prison. We are in prison. You will realize when you notice the way life progresses, that the moment you think of doing something, 100 hurdles crop up. As if they come up from on the road, like these road barriers they have. You're driving, and suddenly there are huge nails or something that protrude. So that kind of thing. These barriers are waiting there for you to, come to start something. So the devilish thing is very apt. As if someone is waiting, lurking on the sides, waiting for you to start something, and then he comes in all delight, and then you are finished. If you are a weak person, if you are one of those, so you're finished. Otherwise, then it doesn't matter for you. If you're a realized soul, and it doesn't matter for you, these bodily discomforts, this is part of nature, and it happens. And then then we have these devatas that are there, the controllers of the different things. They are there. These are names given to this Adhyatmic, Adidevik and things like that. So whatever happens is under their control. So if you don't propitiate them, don't make them happy, they're going to create trouble. So that is another, aspect. So anyway, the thing is, the aim of sadhana is to get beyond all that and be impervious to these aberrations which are part of samsara. Samsara doesn't mean family. Here, samsara is the material world which is governed by the senses, the mind, the intellect, the body, the ego, things like that. It is not, samsara is normally used for family and all that in normal conversation, but here samsara is the material world, the world as we see, as we feel, as we sense through our indriyas. That is, indriyas are the sense organs. We have 5 organs: sense and sense of, karma indriya, and gyan indriya. That's 10 kinds. So once you go beyond these things, and then, because people are imprisoned by these sense organs, all of them. Like most people, their mind is concentrated on and below the navel. So as you do sadhana, the concentration rises slowly and tends to rise to the top of the head, where the Sahasrara is supposed to be. And when you're a continuously spiritual person, it travels. It depends on your stage. It is normally in the chest region, in the heart, and then it goes to the throat region, and then it goes to the middle of the forehead, Agya Chakra, and then finally there. And then everything merges, that's how it is. So you have to do sadhana. Unless you do sadhana, meditation, constant thinking of God and taking His name with every breath, you do it so, with such involvement that you hear the birds, you hear some noise, you hear the cricket, you feel that everything is just taking God's name. When you breathe, when your heart beats, it is only the japa going on. And when you sleep, also it goes on. That is called ajapa. That continues. So that is continuous. When you're walking on the roads, when you're running, when life is very tense, you're working, these mantras, if they are so powerful, they come up in your mind, and you don't even know that you're going through trouble, and your work goes on.